All right. Welcome, everybody. I'm Dr. Linda Goggin from Feel Good Functional Medicine. I'm super thrilled to have with me Niti Shah, who's a functional nutritionist and changes a lot of people's lives with her business, which is called Back2Basics Functional Nutrition. And I'm so excited to have you here, Niti. You and I share some commonalities, both the love for nutrition, and today we're going to teach you how to fix it fast and eat healthy on the run. Who doesn't? I want to know. so Niti, thank you for joining me. And I guess I would love to hear a little bit. And you guys, if you stick to the end, we're going to give you some amazing recipes. Okay. So stick to the end so you can get these recipes. All right. How you can eat fast in a hurry. Okay. Well, Niti, just would you give us a little insight into how you got into doing functional nutrition?
Absolutely. First of all, thank you so much, Linda, for having me. Yes, we are in this world together, sharing wellness and helping people get healthier and getting to what they want to achieve in their lives. So thank you again, Linda.
Yeah, it's pretty fun. So I know that you have some interesting things that you move through in your life to bring you to understanding that there was a better way to help people get healthy. How did you find a better way?
Yeah, and my personal struggles is what helped me find functional medicine and functional nutrition. And that is how I started. So like most functional medicine practitioners, that has been my story as well. I was a physical therapist in my first career, Linda, and I was 40 pounds overweight, tried everything, and obviously failed at everything. And that just made me so guilty and so miserable because I'm like, if a physical therapist does not know how to lose weight, I don't know who on this planet can, right?
Right.
And meanwhile, my husband was diagnosed with autoimmune disease. And so that just felt like the sky was falling. And that just, at that time, it sure felt like that. But that just, on looking deeper, I found the wonderful world of functional medicine, where getting to the root of the problem was just what I think what I needed and what my husband needed. And by working with a functional medicine practitioner, I started getting answers, and our health started getting better. And it was not an easy route, but trust me, it was one wonderful thing that could happen to me. And that just got me interested. And I'm like, okay, now that I know this is helpful, I was like, okay, I want to learn firsthand as to how to go about doing it. So I went back to school and did my master's in functional medicine and nutrition at University of Western States, took my license, and then started the practice. And so long story short, that is how I came into this world of functional nutrition, and now I have my own private practice where I'm sharing that with DFW people.
Oh, I love it. Well, it's interesting. We all, I was sick. That was how I found functional medicine also, and having to find our own answers because, I'm conventionally trained and I couldn't figure out what was wrong with me, and I knew something was wrong with me. So you guys, if you know that something's not right, right? We must listen to ourselves. And a lot of what Niti and I have learned is it's a discovery of ourselves, starting to honor our symptoms. Don't just cover them up, right? And we can use nutrition to heal a lot of things, right? And it's a transition though, when you're so busy, right? People are too busy really to take the time, or they think there's not enough time for me to eat healthy, right? I think that's one of the myths that Niti and I'd like to dispel is, in fact, even if you're in a hurry, you can start to gradually make changes. And so that's what we're going to give you tips today, how you can gradually make those changes so that you can, even when you're a busy entrepreneur, even when you're running, working full time, you can do this too, you guys. Okay. It's funny when I think back to how I used to eat really crummy, and I thought I was eating healthy. Yeah.
Exactly.
So let's talk about the changes that we both have made. It's my changes have been gradual over the past really maybe 8 years.
Mhm.
And so we've got a few points for you guys. The first thing, Niti, why don't you start to dive in with some of your best tips here on how we can eat healthy fast? Okay.
Absolutely. So the first step, Linda, I would say is a pantry makeover, because that is where my journey started. Because like you said, I also thought I ate healthy because I cooked most of the time at home. But I did not realize that over a period of time, my pantry and my refrigerator were filled with those processed and super processed, ultra processed foods, which just were all of the foods in my pantry and refrigerator. So my pantry makeover started back in 2012, and to this date, I'll say it's always work in progress. Even though I think even at present, as a functional nutritionist, I'm eating healthy, but there are always those things that are gonna creep in, because unfortunately, our grocery stores are filled with those things, right? So
And they look healthy, right?
they
They
look
say natural.
yeah, exactly. And like Michael Pollan says, that eat food, not food-like substances, right? And
Yes.
unfortunately, our pantries, our grocery stores are 3/4 food-like substances and 1/4 food. So you are more, if you are not aware or if you are not mindful of what you are putting in your grocery carts, those food-like substances are going to get to your home and get to your kids, get to your family. So number one tip I will say is be mindful and don't just pick things out of habit. Be mindful, make a list, learn to read the labels. I'm sure you and me can teach them, but in a matter of time, we cannot cover everything. But just learn to read the label. Eat foods which has like anything that has 5 or more ingredients. And if you cannot read those ingredients, you should know that that is not something you want to put in your cart.
That's a
And
great rule of thumb. You can't pronounce the ingredients, guys, then you probably shouldn't be eating them. Okay.
yes, you cannot pronounce it. And if there is anything that's real food is not made with 30 food ingredients. Real food is made with 5 or less ingredients or no ingredients, right? It is just your bell peppers or just your
Lettuce.
oranges.
Okay, that is excellent advice. And so then people are kind of like, but that means I have to make all my food, right? I mean, they're sort of like, uh-oh, I'm going to be cooking. Well, let's talk a little bit about that. How can we make like actually having healthy food at the ready easy, right? Do you have some tips for people in terms of so first we're shopping around the outside of the grocery store, right? We're getting fruits and
Exactly.
vegetables, real stuff, real food, 5 or less ingredients. I love that. And I love don't eat things you can't pronounce. So now we have to get over that hurdle of people are like, okay, well, let's say I go get the food. How am I do I have to fix all these complicated recipes? What do you tell people regarding that food prep?
Absolutely. So that goes with the second tip, like you said, is once you have access to those real foods, second step would be planning and prepping. And again, for a newbie, that might seem overwhelming, but again, it's a life skill, and all of us need to have that. And for every one of us, it's a work in progress. But trust me, as you start doing it, things just keep getting easier. Okay, yes, first week it might seem daunting, it might seem hard, but it gets easier. Trust me on that.
That's
Uh,
that's
and
beautiful.
there
Well, I think that's what I like to do is set aside a 1 day a week where I take a pretty short period of time, right? Maybe an hour. I'm listening to something I enjoy, either music or I'm listening to a Netflix something while I'm veggies and making salads. And there are tools that can make this go faster, you guys. We're going to talk
exactly.
about some of those tools. So, food prep, find a time where you have free, because you got to schedule this. Otherwise, schedule it And then while we're chopping, we can be listening to something else. So, right, it's not lost time. You're not just chopping, you've been listening to something. Okay, I
Exactly.
love that. So, so now we're planning ahead, we're shopping around the outside, and now we're going to have a little bit of food prep to make it so all week there's something ready that's healthy.
Exactly.
Oh,
Exactly. Yes. Then what I also like doing is, just like we are chopping vegetables, I also like to stir fry my vegetables or boil my vegetables and keep. So that way I have access to mushrooms, broccoli, I have access to carrots. So all of them, they are ready. And that way through the week, I would be randomly throwing them in whatever vegetables or whatever recipes I'm cooking, because otherwise I would just limit myself with one or two vegetables. Now that I have all of those vegetables that are stored in glass containers, which I've prepped over the weekend, it makes my weekday so much easier and so much healthier, right? With all those vegetables coming in all at once rather than just one vegetable at a time.
so Niti, what all, I know obviously you're cooking some onions, right? What else are you cooking and putting in those glass containers so they're ready to just be tossed into dinner? What else?
Mushrooms, spinach. Again, I keep them individually because that's just my preference, because I like to throw in different things in different recipes. If someone likes to just use those same vegetables, they can mix it all together. But because I'm just picky in that sense, I just keep it separately. So I have my mushrooms, I have my spinach. Spinach, I boil them. I'm not stir frying them.
Mhm.
Spinach, kale, and mustard greens, I boil them all together, chop them, and boil them all together. So I have my green mix ready. I do onions, carrots, and cabbage together. And sometimes, and I also use cauliflower rice because I just feel that is so practical and so easy, because those are chopped and in tiny pieces and ready, and it's frozen, right? So you don't have to fear it going bad. So those are the things that I keep it handy, and I use it frequently in different recipes.
So I'm curious, with the cauliflower rice, do you cook that by itself or with anything else? Do you stir fry that?
I at times I use it just by themselves, and sometimes I make like a cauliflower stir fry with all the vegetables in it.
Okay.
So sometimes I replace it with my white rice, and sometimes I use it as with something.
Right. So I mean, it is such a healthier version of white rice, because white rice, guys, well, rice, you guys know, is one of our primary sources of arsenic. So make sure if you guys are eating rice, that you're rinsing that rice really well. And you know what, Niti's done this. I've done this, is at Costco, you can get glass containers that can stack in your fridge so that you have all these ready. That's what I make my salads in. So while Niti's stir frying her vegetables, and now I'm going to start to stir fry some veggies after we've had this talk, so I can just toss them in. That makes it so much easier. I make salads, so I line up 8, because I do it for me and my husband, 8 glass, containers, and I'm like, power greens, power greens, power greens, power greens. Then I use a stainless steel grater to grate. Each one gets a whole carrot. Each one gets a half of a beet. Each one gets purple cabbage. So we want to make color and make it pretty. So you're like, ooh, that's fun to eat, right?
Right.
And I toss nuts in all of them, and sauerkraut. And so then I would not otherwise eat a salad if I didn't do that. Yeah. So prep. I love this. What else do you prep when you're doing for the week?
I also make a few dressings, and like a cilantro dressing with we call it chutney in our Indian cooking. So with peanuts, cilantro, lemon, and chilies. So that dip, so those dips and chilies, the dressings, if they are ready, that also makes it easier, right? So you can just throw it in your sandwiches, you can throw it in your salads. So pretty much it comes in handy. So like Linda and me were talking, like I know we have been talking so many plants and so many vegetables, and you're like, oh my God, that sounds overwhelming, right? At times if you hear it for the first time, but as you start bringing in all those vegetables and those fruits in, you will notice how healthier and how awesome you can feel. And as wise men say, you can be watching your protein, fats, and carbs. Absolutely, I know, and that is the way to go. We are not saying don't do that and just eat vegetables. That is not the motto. But in doing so, by bringing in all of those plants, the richness of your foods is going to improve, and that is what we want to send the message out, because all of those plants have those color, and what gives those fruits or vegetables that color is a phytonutrient. So, and each of them has a unique quality. So just make sure you are bringing more and more to get the most benefits. So eat your protein, absolutely. If you like chicken, like your fish, absolutely go for it. But remember to eat plants or plant-based 70% of the time.
Yes.
So if you follow that, you know that your nutrition just got an upgrade and you're taking your health to the next level.
Yeah, I often tell people, and they are shocked at first when I'm like, we're shooting for one day for you to eat 6 to 9 cups of veggies a day. And they're like, oh my gosh, I'm eating a vegetable a day. And so it's like we just dial it up gradually, right?
Gradually, yes.
Wherever you are, if you're eating 1 serving of veggies a day, then you increase it to 2 and just try that for a while. So we're making gradual changes. And I think both Niti and I agree that we don't put people on diets. It's really more a lifestyle and making those gradual changes. And the other thing is that these phytonutrients Niti's talking about, that is instructions to your body. It's information. Food is information. Bad food will slowly kill you. Good food will slowly heal you, right? So I think that understanding that it is going to be helpful. You'll notice a change in your skin and your energy and so many different things when you're getting more fruits and vegetables. All right, so we talked prep. What are the tools that we have to have in order to make this easy for us?
I have 2 of my favorites that I'll share first. Number 1 is Instapot, and number 2 is Vitamix. Those are the 2 tools. I don't know what I did 10 years ago when I did not have that in kitchen, but I cannot live without them. I know it sure feels like I'm marketing for Instapot and Vitamix, but I don't get any commission. But it's something that just made my life so much easier, and I would encourage everyone to invest in that and make their lives easier.
Yes. I mean, it's funny. I couldn't imagine now not having an Instant Pot because I use it so frequently. I mean, I just use it for everything. And I think that the other thing that I use a lot is I'll show you guys a picture of what I use, this stainless steel grater that I like when I make my salads. This guy, I like it because I know there's no plastic going into my food, right? Which and I can really quickly shred stuff. It's got all these different heads on it. So I can make, there you go, shredder, French fryer, waffler, right? Anyway, that's a tool that I feel like helps me make my salads. And when I put all those greens out, and then I'm just like, and I do the carrots, I do the beets. Beets are a really interesting root vegetable. I didn't understand the power until I started looking at the research for help with cardiovascular issues and blood pressure. So beets, guys, and they also make your salads look pretty. So Instant Pot. And then how are you using your Vitamix? You guys, which is a powerful blender. What are your favorite things to do in that?
My dressings and my dips and my morning smoothies and my celery juice.
Well, and that brings us to morning smoothies, because we're talking about how to do healthy in a hurry. I think morning smoothies are so important for, people who are running. If you have time to eat the food, I think it's better, but we don't always have time. Tell me a little bit more about the smoothies that you make.
Sure. So I see a lot of people with metabolic imbalances, Linda. And so that is the one tip that I would give to anyone looking to improve their metabolic health and want to have like a balanced nutrition first thing in the morning. I'm a vegetarian, so for me, those carbs filling my plate is very easy. It's always breads, pastas, crackers, cereals, right? And they make up a big part of the morning breakfast, if you think about it. So all those bakery items, and we know that we are not getting enough. But an easier way, instead of eating those bread and butter, or instead of eating those cereal and milk, an easier version, which I found it to be more practical, is making a morning smoothie with a plant-based milk, which could be oat milk, soy milk, to people's preference. Put in some pea protein powder to add to it, some MCT oil, which is a healthy fat. So you're getting your protein, you're getting your healthy fat, you are having a protein and a fat in the base of soy milk or oat milk, and then you can add in 1 spoon of nutso. If for people who are listening, nutso is again a very much favorite of mine, where maybe we can put a link in the comment section for nutso, because
I love nutso. That stuff is great.
Yeah, it's such a power food because it has all the nuts and seeds in, and if you add that 1 spoon to your smoothie, it just upgrades your smoothies, right? So I find it very easy and to taste. If someone likes it sweeter, they can add in dates or some maple syrup. So that is my morning smoothie ingredients on most days.
Yeah, well, and you guys know also, the with veggies, like if you're going to toss in some veggies and a little bit of fruit or something like that, you can put them in little baggies and have them ready to go right in your freezer, so you can grab and go, toss it into the Vitamix, you just fire it up, add your milk and fire it up. Nutso, that's a great idea. I've never added that to a smoothie, so I'm gonna be trying that in my next smoothie. So the other thing, like people think of smoothies as being something, and that is a big tool, are there grab and go snacks that are easy to make, Niti? Grab and go snacks.
Absolutely, Linda. The first thing that came to my mind is energy balls, is how I like to call it. Energy balls or power balls. So if you can make it over the weekend and have that to last for 7 to 10 days in a refrigerator or out on the counter, it just makes great food.
And kids love those too, don't they?
And kids love those too, and they are so healthy and they are so tasty. So you can mix and match the ingredients, nuts, dates, throw in some butter, throw in some matcha powder. So there are various variations you can try. So I will definitely pass on in a beautiful PDF those recipes. Use cacao powder, so make it like a chocolate energy ball. You can do a matcha energy ball.
Getting me hungry. Okay, well, so that's so kind of you guys. So she's going to give us her energy ball recipe. Wow, I'm excited. I know my kids are going to really like that, and I'm looking for new things to get them expand their palate a little bit. And this sounds like something that can be really helpful to make it easy, because I'm a busy shoot. I've got my practice, I've got my online practice, all these things I'm doing, and I'm the people we're talking to. Actually, that's one of the reasons I said to Niti, let's talk about healthy on the go, because I knew that she'd have some special tips and tricks, because Niti really has an amazing wealth of knowledge around how you can balance your metabolism, how you can create new, huge, amazing health by using these nutritional tools. And then it's something accessible for everybody. It's not a diet. It really is a gradual lifestyle, is what I'm hearing you say. Is that true?
And true.
Yeah.
Like you unless we make it practical, it's not sustainable. So giving my clients those substitute options, giving them that, hey, before telling them, hey, don't eat fast food, I'm ready with those substitutes, right? So helping them make those wise choices is how we can have them make those changes and have those changes last sustainably.
Nice. Oh, well, Niti, this has been an amazing conversation. How can people, we're going to put the links below to Niti's Back2Basics functional nutrition site. And Niti has, kindly agreed to give us some amazing recipes. So you can click the link to get those. And any other parting words that we want to share with everybody?
Yes, I will say there is no such thing as junk food. There is junk and there is food. So choose wisely.
Oh gosh, yes, that was great. Oh, well, thank you. Thank you so much. What I'm going to do is I'm going to stop our streaming, but you and I are going to talk a little bit after this. So bye, you guys. I hope that you enjoyed that. I know I enjoyed it, and I can't tell you how much I appreciate you coming on, Niti. So
Thank you so much, Linda.